Alexandra 360. Welcome to my first show with the Patriots Prayer. It is so awesome to be here on this wonderful Thursday night evening. A little introduction to myself. Again, my name is Alexandra Levine, but it's called Alexandra 360 around the world with Alexandra 360, Alexandra Levine. I was born and raised in Sarasota, Florida. I'm still a resident of the state of Florida, but I do a lot of work around the DMV area. I'm a professional opera singer, internationally renowned, nationally renowned. I've performed all over the country and the world. I sing in 13 languages and counting. I'm also an actress. I've been in multiple different movies in the DMV area and nationwide, and a TV and radio personality for many years. I got into politics in 2015 because of one man, President Donald J. Trump. He opened my eyes to realizing that you have to do what you love and love what you do. And that's why I'm here tonight, because we need to stand up for what we believe in. We cannot go against our hardcore beliefs and our hardcore values. You can't just hold your nose and vote for someone because you think, this person is going to help us across the aisle. No, if you know in your heart that that person doesn't represent you, don't vote for them. Do the research. Be the leader. Don't be the follower. That is what I've done my entire life. I have led multiple different rallies, multiple different events. I put events together for candidates. I put events together for Israel because I personally love the country of Israel. And as an American, it is very important that we stand and support our biggest ally, Israel, especially now, especially what's going on in America and in Israel. What happened on October 7th was horrific. And we must support our biggest ally here in America. And that's something that I strive to do every single day. I've been writing resolutions for multiple different central committees all over the DMV area, making sure that we know that we will support Israel no matter what. And we condemn Hamas, any terrorists that hurts anybody, whether they're Jewish, non-Jewish, etc. Because what's happening in the college campuses now is horrific. It's absolutely horrific. So we have groundbreaking news. So Joe Biden, as President Trump calls him, Sleepy Joe Biden, which is a beautiful name for him, he actually had the audacity, what we say in Yiddish, the chutzpah, the nerve, to challenge President Trump to debates. He had the audacity to say, I debated you twice last year and I won both debates. And now I'm challenging you and I want you on this debate stage and I'm going to beat you again. Well, let me just tell you, when he did that commercial, when Joe Biden actually did that commercial, he took about 64 takes to get it right. He used a teleprompter. And even though he used a teleprompter, he actually said the word pause in the teleprompter, ellipses, because the guy he can't function properly. He can't function properly without stumbling, without bumbling. He just cannot function. So he had to redo the commercial about 64 times, they said, for him to get it right. So Joe Biden challenged President Trump, the audacity, the chutzpah, he challenged him to debates. So President Trump said, guess what? I accept your challenge as the warrior that he is. He said, I accept the challenge. And he not only accepted one debate, he not only accepted 2 debates, but he accepted 3 debates. So the first debate is going to be June 27th with CNN, which was called the Clinton News Network, CNN. The second debate is going to be September 10th on ABC, which is a very liberal network, as we know. And then October 2nd, which is a very important day in history, and it's a very important day in people's lives. He has a Fox News debate with Martha MacCallum and Brett Baier. So he accepted the challenge. President Trump accepted the challenge, and I hope that you all bring the popcorn, because it's going to be really exciting. It's going to be really interesting to see President Trump and Joe Biden dig it out again. And I have a question to my viewers, a question to my audience. Who thinks that President Trump is going to win the debate, and who thinks that Joe Biden's going to win the debate? Do you think it's going to be a tie? Do you think it's going to be a toss-up? And how long can Joe Biden stand for this debate? I mean, he was completely jacked up, as they say, during the State of the Union address. They gave him something to keep him up for over an hour to speak. But this is debate time. Debates last at least 3 hours. Is Joe Biden going to have the stamina to keep up with our strong warrior, President Trump, for 3 hours? I mean, get real. The fact that Joe Biden, again, had the audacity to challenge President Trump to 3 debates when he can barely keep his eyes open after 2 minutes of being in front of the press corps, how in the heck is he going to be able to have the stamina and the energy to, quote, beat President Trump, as he says, or even to last the whole 3 to 4 hours on a debate? The whole thing is just asinine. The whole thing is ridiculous. But as we know, President Trump is up to the challenge. And as we all say, we're ready for some mean tweets. We're ready for some mean retruths. We're ready for President Trump to just, lay it on the table. He's going to call Joe Biden out. He's going to hold Joe Biden accountable for the horrible things that have happened in our country since Joe Biden has been in the White House. I mean, you can't deny it. And the funny thing is, you're also seeing Democrats and a lot of independents that are saying what Joe Biden is doing to our country, what his administration is doing to the country and to the world is disgusting. And we need to change. One of the biggest things that I do is I work with an organization called Jexit Inc., which is Jews Jexiting the Democratic Party. We have been astronomical in this fight. You're going to see a lot more Jewish people, a lot more minorities switching and flipping from Democrat to Republican because they're starting to see the light. And they always say the minorities are your toughest crowd. The Jewish people are the toughest crowd. The blacks are the toughest crowd. But they're seeing the writing on the wall. And President Trump doesn't even have to do anything. You see him going to court every day. The fight that, unfortunately, the fight that is happening is just it's disgusting. I mean, he's fighting for his life every day. He's fighting for the American people every day. He's got to go into court and fight against this stripper, this porno star, and he's dealing with a former lying attorney, Michael Cohen, on the stand today. This poor guy is dealing with this every single day. And I just want to say a shout out to all the congressmen and the senators that have been standing by President Trump during this process. That have been coming to the courts, that have been fighting for President Trump, that are supporting President Trump. Those are the people that we need to support in November because, they see the writing on the wall, because they know that if it happens to President Trump, it'll happen to them too. And it's just, it's so sad. It's so sad what's happening. But that's why elections have consequences, but that's why it's really important who we put in the White House. It's really important who is our commander in chief. And that's why it's so important that we make sure that we the people that really love Trump, that really support Trump, that want Trump back in office, that we do everything we can to put him back in office. And don't hold your nose and vote for a rhino. Don't hold your nose and vote for someone that doesn't represent you. If you stand with President Trump, if you support President Trump, then you will work every single day to make sure that he is in office and that he has the proper people in office that will back and support him no matter what, because that's what it's all about. I don't see a lot of these rhinos going into the courtroom with President Trump. I don't see a lot of these rhinos standing outside the courtroom with President Trump. I see conservatives standing with him. I see people that care about this country, people that are concerned about everyday life, and people that are talking to their constituents every day, and their constituents are scared as well. And I'm in Maryland, I'm in Florida, I'm nationwide. I see what's going on. We see the economy. We see the inflation happening. We actually have a senior economic advisor coming on, Stephen Moore, and he's going to talk to us about the economy and how we can rebuild the economy. Right now, our economy is going to hell under Joe Biden, but we're still under the Trump tax cuts, which actually expire in December of 2025. That's why it's really important that we have President Trump back in office so that those Trump tax cuts get extended. They need to be extended. We need to get our economy back rolling. We need to get our young people working. I've talked to so many people that have lost their jobs during the pandemic. They have not been able to recover since the pandemic. They're still on welfare. They're on food stamps. They're on unemployment. And I hate to say it, because of DEI happening all over the nation, a lot of really good people that are highly qualified for these jobs are not getting the jobs. They're getting the jobs to people that have never done the job in their life. Unfortunately, they're losing jobs to illegals. We cannot have this anymore. We cannot have this at all. And this is why it's very important that we get back to work. It's very important that President Trump comes back into the White House, because if not, we have a problem. We're waiting for Stephen Moore right now. He's expecting around 9:10. We're going to take a short break before Stephen Moore, and we'll be right back. This is our sponsor.
Do you have old home videotapes that you're no longer able to watch? Need them transferred to DVD, Blu-ray, or your smart device? Welcomr Digital offers professional-grade VHS, mini DV, and high 8 digitizing services. We can also convert Super 8mm film too. Welcomr Digital also provides photo restoration services. Visit archive.welcomrdigital.net. Mention code Alexandra for a 10% introductory discount.
This marks the potential start of a third world war, where we will be hit with a silent, untraceable attack on America that unfortunately very few will see coming. This attack will be unlike any we have seen before, the one that directly targets our power grid, which will cause a nationwide blackout and plunge our great nation into darkness, despair, and starvation. I know some patriots have been preparing for this eventuality, but stockpiling and growing your own food is simply not enough, because this marks just the first phase of this orchestrated attack on America. And with Sleepy Joe and his team of incompetents at the helm, people will soon realize no one is coming to save them. Then it will be every man for himself. The looting will begin. Supermarkets will be ransacked. Local gangs and marauders will target anyone who looks like easy pickings. And by the end of the first week, millions of unprepared, desperate, and hungry Americans will be eating from garbage cans, if they're lucky. And that's exactly what our enemies want, to destroy our great nation from the inside. But the reality is, you do not have to be a victim. There is something you can do to prepare. Hi, my name is Teddy Daniels. I am a United States war hero, a White House insider, and a Purple Heart recipient. And I just released an emergency broadcast that reveals the one thing you must do in the first hour of the attack. That will guarantee you will have a power supply for you and your family. These 3 secrets will give you peace of mind and unlimited power during this critical time. By seeing this right now makes you one of the lucky ones. Because when the attack happens, most Americans will have no idea what hit them, but not you. You'll be in complete control, and that puts a lot of power in your hands. Yes, others may laugh when they see you quietly preparing for this imminent attack, but once our power grid fails, those woke millennials won't be laughing anymore. They will be wishing they had prepared, while you and your family prosper and thrive. But you need to move fast. I have it on good authority. This attack could start as soon as next week. So I urge any American or true patriot to watch my emergency broadcast right now before it gets taken down again by the powers that be to protect their controlling interests. Watch it now while you still can, like your life depends on it, because it does.
Have you noticed the ever-alarming 400,000 cell towers that have gone up in the United States alone? How about the electronics that reside in every room of our homes and Wi-Fi that runs 24/7? 5G cell phones are carried in our pockets hours on end. Common complaints are ringing in the ear: sleep deprivation, palpitations, headaches, memory loss, and so much more. Redemption Shield is on the cutting edge of offering products that protect your family from electromagnetic and microwave radiation. From Faraday bags, earthing bed sheets, Wi-Fi router covers, hats, scarves, bed sanctuaries. This will not be going away anytime soon. We will continue to see only faster speeds, 6G, 7G, and more exposure to EMF than any time in our history. Start protecting yourself now. Go to redemptionshield.com and get grounded and shielded today. Use code PATRIOT and save 10%.
Greetings, kindred spirits. Welcome to Smoking Gun Coffee, where the essence of the land infuses every sip. It carries the spirit of reverence for the earth and its gifts. As you indulge in our carefully crafted blends, envision the dance of the winds and the whispers of ancient trees. Let each cup be a journey through time, a tribute to the harmony found in nature. Smoking Gun Coffee, a ritual of warmth, a connection to the sacred. Embrace the rich tapestry of flavors and join us in honoring the legacy of the land. Taste the spirit, savor the journey, Smoking Gun Coffee, where every cup is a celebration of our shared connection.
Hi everyone. Hi. We are just waiting for Senior Economic Advisor Stephen Moore. Waiting for him to come in. Oh shoot. Oh, he said it isn't working. Hold on. I have to get off. Hold on.
There's some technical difficulties. We'll get a link over to Steven real quick while he's waiting. These things always happen last minute. You guys already know. But while she's doing what she's doing, if anybody followed that trial today, with the Michael Cohen incident that took place on the stand, I don't understand how in the hell they're going to have a trial tomorrow. I don't understand how you go beyond this. I mean, he got caught lying again. I mean, it's laughable. And the thing that I guess that they thought was going to deter President Trump or was going to knock him out of the race, or they're just going to put so much pressure on him that he finally just gives up and walks away. It's not happening. In fact, his numbers in the polls are growing daily, like daily. They are growing daily, and they're getting the margin is getting wider. Trump is actually beating Sleepy Joe by 25 points in some places. That's sick. That's never happened before in the history of presidential politics. Even when you go back as far as Jimmy Carter, before Ronald Reagan came into office, there was never a margin that big. But if you look at the polls and the national polls, they'll tell you some like Trump is behind 4% or only leading by 3 with a margin of error of only 5. And all of those things are not true. They're just absolutely not true. You have to look at actual polling data that's done across the board, not just the ones that you see on CNN or put in the New York Times and places like this that we know to be liberal rags. They're 100% liberal rags. So Trump is definitely winning, and he's not winning by a little bit. He's winning by a lot, and he's definitely won in the hearts and the minds of the people. It doesn't matter if he's between taking a break at court and he goes over to a trip to a New York bodega. He's loved. If he's driving down the streets of Atlanta, Georgia, did you see the streets of Atlanta lined up, people on both sides, right? He's supposedly so racist, but most of those people were black. And it doesn't matter where he goes. He is received with just cheers and applaud, and people love this man. But you're watching the biggest psyop, I believe, that has ever taken place ever. And it's being performed on you. And what's great about it is you get to see who's doing it. It's your press. It's your press. Now I have Alexandra back, and I'm going to go fade back into the background and let her come up. There you go, Alexandra.
Hi, I'm so sorry about that, guys. I was talking to Mr. Moore. Unfortunately, because of the tech issues, we won't be able to have him tonight, and he has a dinner, so his schedule is very, very tight. So I'm so sorry about that. I hope that everything will work out with him coming back on. He's a personal friend of mine, so he'll be on. It's just this was our first show, and we're just using this software for the first time. So next time he'll probably phone in, or we'll Zoom him in. So it'll be easy for him to come on. But going back to what I was saying before. So, we're talking about rebuilding the economy. We're talking about rebuilding our Republican Party. We have some great stars in the Republican Party. I'm actually bringing one on next week and in the coming weeks. And I'll be honest, it was a very grueling process with Maryland. It was a very grueling process with the Maryland elections. I worked on a lot of them, and I worked with some really great people. And it was really hard when I hear people saying, I support Donald Trump, I support Donald Trump, I support Donald Trump, but I'm going to hold my nose and vote for someone that they know does not support Donald Trump because they feel that he can get them across the aisle in November. That's not necessarily true. And the person who did win the Republican nomination for Maryland, I will not say his name. You can look him up. I will not say his name. But he is known to not support conservatives, to not support the MAGA movement. He has criticized the MAGA movement. He has criticized America First. He's criticized President Trump. He said he will never vote for President Trump. He actually wrote his father's name in 2020. He said he will not vote for President Trump. He will not support President Trump if he's the Republican nominee for president, which President Trump is. He said that he will not follow the conservative way of life. He considers himself an independent, and he started a Democrat group for himself. He's working with a guy named Bobby Zirkin, and you can look that guy up. He's a known Democrat. That's who the Republican nominee for Maryland for the U.S. Senate is working with. He feels that the only way he can win the seat is if he goes across the aisle and just goes with Democrats. He's going to try to get independents. He has absolutely no Republican support. He has the rhinos in Maryland, but it's not enough for him to get across the aisle. He's going up against a hardcore Democratic machine. He's going up against Angela Alsobrooks. She is a far left woman. She is the current county executive of PG County. Took her 3 years to reopen the entire county of PG. And you know why? Because of the former governor, and I'm not going to say his name. I do not want to acknowledge his name. But the former governor of Maryland allowed his state to continue to be closed. And what did he do? He gave the county executives and the mayor the power to decide when they were going to reopen their counties. See, my governor, Governor Ron DeSantis, who's a wonderful, wonderful governor, it was either we're all closed or we're all open. I'm the governor of the state. I control when we close and when we open. But not the former governor of Maryland. No, the former governor of Maryland, he gave the power to the county executives like Angela Alsobrooks. And Angela Alsobrooks' county, PG County, was the last county to fully reopen and the last county to...
Hey, shut that.
I'm so sorry. Excuse me. Bye.
Something happened there with a pop-up or something that occurred on the screen. It always happens when we're in the middle of these, especially the first time out. So it's something we'll get over the technical difficulties in the long term, but it'll be better next time. Don't worry, guys. We're all a bit of a perfectionist, and it's to be expected, and we'll definitely come at it again next week. Listen, while I got everyone here, and this is not typically a night that we broadcast on, we're kind of blessed with a lot of the cool news that took place. Now, I talked about it briefly about the things that took place on the stand with Cohen, but people got to put that into perspective. Now, he's a convicted liar. We know he's a convicted liar. And yet again today on the stand, and I want to go through some of it. The court concluded Tuesday that Cohen, Donald Trump's former attorney, is testifying for nearly 6 hours straight. And he was called out on multiple occasions for things that he said that they didn't think were true. But his statement, I guess his rebuttal to it was, I'm not sure, but I'm not sure if that's true. I'm not sure if that's true. So this is the perfect kind of language that a lawyer would use, right? He wouldn't say that it's not true. He wouldn't say that it is true, but he would frame it in such a way as to say, I'm not sure if that's true. It's legal speak. It's a way to not it's a way to not perjure yourself while at the same time trying to save face. I mean, I think this is probably, everyone thinks that obviously it's a sham that they're even going after Trump at all, period, at all, that they're going after Trump. But in a way, I think that he's not even paying for this publicity. He's not paying for this campaign. These aren't campaign commercials. This is Trump being Trump in front of the world, and he's not paying for a single ad. And every day, all they're talking about is this trial. He's got the best campaign ever because this is happening every day, and he's not paying for the coverage on the news. It's kind of a blessing in disguise. The more they come after him, the more popular he gets. And I just, come November, guys, we can't have anybody riding this out on the couch. We need everybody out there. We need everybody in the streets. We need everybody at their polling stations. We need people volunteering this time. We need people that are out there that are going to be making sure that the shenanigans that took place last time don't happen this time. They do not happen this time. So, if you have an opportunity to volunteer, if you're able to volunteer and be a poll worker, if you're able to volunteer in any capacity, please do. Please do. Please get involved and don't be the type of person that the following day we shoulda, woulda, coulda. And, we did this already. And we had the biggest voting turnout that I think I've ever had in my entire lifetime in the last election. But I think this time coming, you're going to see more people show up to the polls than have ever showed up ever. So, don't assume that Trump is automatically going to win and then sit home. It doesn't work that way. You have to assume that every single vote counts. A single vote counts. For those of you who don't know, there have been several states and several pieces of legislation that have came down to single votes, to 1, 2, and 3 votes. Literally, if you go back and you look at the Patriots' Prayer, I want to say about 3 months ago, I put out an episode called "Every Vote Counts," where the state council was completely removed. I think it was in Minnesota, but they completely recalled the entire state council or city council, and they replaced them. You have more power than you think. You have much more power than you think. Yeah, I mean, it might not be a 49 state victory win, but it will be. Yeah, I mean, listen, there are certain states you're not going to win. You're absolutely right. There are California. You're not going to win, right? A Republican is just not going to win. But we're gaining ground in California. Hearts and minds are changing in California. That's a fact. That is a fact. Hearts and minds are doing tremendous changes in California. So don't get comfortable is what I'm saying. Don't get comfortable and think that you don't have anything to go out and fight for, that he's got it so sewn up that you don't need to be out there voting. You do. And we need to out volunteer the left, because believe me, you and I know there were shenanigans. They know there were shenanigans, and there were many shenanigans since. So be there. Keep your head on a swivel. Take part. And you're obligated, people. That's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. You're obligated. It's not just a privilege to do this, but you have an obligation to do this. If you care about your country at all, you'll be there. You will absolutely be there. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. We'll see you again next week. It'll actually be on Thursday. But obviously the Patriots prayers Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And we'll see you then as well. And as usual, the silent majority, you need to stop being silent and stand your ground. We'll see you next time. Have a great one, guys.